Joining us tonight is attorney Jonna Spilbor. She is a criminal defense attorney and also has worked as a prosecutor. We appreciate you helping us shine a light on this case and better understand exactly what is at stake starting tomorrow with jury selection. The crime scene was grisly. It was gruesome, the double murders. New details about this crime scene have come out just in the last week. What more have we learned about the murders and where they happened?
Well, the one thing that we know is that the murders happened on the property far away from the main house of the Murdaugh property. But also we know that Alex Murdaugh is claiming that he had an alibi. He was not there at the time that his wife and his youngest son were killed. I think the prosecution is going to try to disprove that premise by saying not only was he nearby, but he was the one who pulled the trigger. Interestingly, not one gun, but two different guns were used to commit this crime, which is something that's kind of extraordinary in this case. On the other side of this, his defense attorneys have pretty much signaled that they are going to point the finger of the culprit being not Alex Murdaugh, but instead this his cousin Eddie, as he's known in South Carolina. Instead, the same person who Alex Murdaugh hired to fake his own murder, except that Curtis Smith missed. So this is going to be very interesting. I really think the defense is going to be pointing the finger at this third-party culpability. It's going to make for an interesting defense.
Well, and they'll also be talking about blood spatter and whether or not it was on the shirt that Alex Murdaugh was wearing that night. Why is that so critically important to both sides of the legal argument?
You know, it's very big because on the one hand, the defense is claiming, hey, wait a minute, the shirt is now gone. We did not have an opportunity to forensically test that shirt ourselves, which Alex Murdaugh should have had the right to do. So we can't just go by what the prosecution wants to claim could have put Alex Murdaugh at the scene of the crime. So that's, and we heard in your promo, that is sort of the same as if the glove doesn't fit, right? Because that's a critical piece of evidence. And because it was destroyed or disappeared or never was properly tested, that's going to be big for the defense in this case.
Jonna, yes or no, if you were representing Alex Murdaugh, would you put him on the stand to testify?
Absolutely not. No, that's a resounding no. Nobody believes him, first of all. And I think part of the failure of the prosecution here is the defense wants to claim, look, everybody thought it was a foregone conclusion that Alex Murdaugh committed this crime. Therefore, they didn't dive in. They didn't provide enough discovery. They didn't do their own testing sufficiently because everyone thought, hey, it's got to be him. But there's no such thing as a circumstantial hunch. You have to have circumstantial evidence if you don't have direct evidence. And the defense is going to say, not only do they not have it against my client, but we're going to show you that somebody else did this, and we know who.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.